you know, I used to be part of a black men's um, group, Black Fathers group, it was called, and it was a support group. And you know, it was tremendous. I learned so much. I had to change my perspective on things so many times. I could say every time I went. And one of the things that I learned was that the power of the story is absolutely immense, and that's the first thing. And the second thing is who is telling the story and why, and different ways of telling the story. Excuse me. That could be through art, it could be through music, it could be through film, dance, all sorts of different narratives. And then we've just accepted the story coming to us, but we're not. And you know, stories can be told in a very compelling and elegant way. So we take. I was just listening to Denzel Washington actually the other day, and he was talking about um, Steven Spielberg writing Schindler's List, and he was talking about the Italians writing films about the mafia, and then he was saying, but as black people, we wouldn't. There would be no one that would be able to tell the story of the feeling of a hot comb going through your hair, and you know that kind of thing. So it's not being. I mean, I suppose what he was saying, it's not being racist. That you know, from your culture, you want to tell your story. Look, I was just um, hearing on telly. Have you heard of this film called Bend It Like Beckham? This is a deep film. So it's about a Sikh girl who goes to the park and plays football with the boys. But you know, a traditional Sikh family don't want their family to play football and don't want girls to play football. So that's the kind of essence of the film. So the film was in, I think it was like 1989 or 90. I don't know the date. That's not my specialty. Anyway, as a result of that film, there were papers being written in all sorts of universities across the world about the film. The film was written by a Sikh woman who thought that she should write this film. And there are now football teams springing up who have been that are Sikh girls that have been inspired by the film. And I thought, my God, how powerful is that? That somebody wrote a film and now they're writing university papers about it. And, you know, it's inspired people to go down the football pitch and start playing. So it's you know, I agree with you what you say about, you know, how we get divided is A, by language, and B, by not having, you know, a sort of military protection, which I don't know. I don't really know if I have an opinion by that. But it is about mainly communication, how we communicate, what we say, and who says it, and making it something of a story that means something to you. Um, So I suppose that's my idea about storytelling. You know, it's got to be us that tells the story, and this is why I like podcasts, because it's us. It's nobody else. I'm not being influenced by anybody in this room, definitely, or outside, and I guess you're not. So it's that connection, that cohesiveness that makes us feel like we're learning, and then when that happens, then we grow
Yeah, yeah,
and
and
we
that
have
is
an opportunity then.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, and that is very powerful. It looked like a kind of a safe place where we can express ourselves. I remember that should be a couple of days ago. I was interviewing a lecturer in the U.S. About African history. I was telling her, of course, the conversation actually went a little bit deep, and it was very interesting. A lot of people view it and continue to view it that in this space we will share this moment. If we need to cry, we cry together. If we need to shout, we shout together. This is just brother and sister relating on issues that are important to us. And of course, in this case, looking at the issue of African American, their story, your journey, where you are coming from. Because if we dig a little bit now, we see that we are coming from the same place. We are coming from the same neighborhood. Okay, it can be that, okay, your ancestors were coming from Congo, whereas mine are coming from Nigeria. But we can actually deeper on that to see that,
Yeah,
okay, we were actually coming from the Nubia world, or coming from Egypt, or coming from other part, so that we have been missing and missing and missing all along. So we are basically the same people. And this story, it is us that must tell it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I find it very, very interesting, this conversation that we have here.
I think what you said is interesting, that we are obviously separated. Obviously, we have the power now to kind of reduce that separation. We've got technology that when it works, and we've got all sorts of different types of media that we can use to tell that story. And when you were saying that, it made me think about, sometimes we're going along in life and we don't know that that thing is missing until you hear it, until you see it, until you feel it. So, and that fills in the gaps. I think the perpetual question that man will have is, who am I? Why am I here? And if those gaps of being part of something is missing, it makes it frustrating for somebody. It makes it hard to kind of really tie up who you are. I was born in England. I lived in England all of my life. I don't feel like an English person. I don't feel like it. I'm not. I don't. I'm not made to feel English. I know I'm Jamaican. I know I'm African. I know that. And even when I go to Africa and Jamaica, sometimes I'm not made to feel like that. So we have to find a way to reduce that idea of other. We have other people telling us we're other outside. We don't need to keep doing that. So I think the more things we can do, the more things we can get involved in, and demonstrate in all sorts of different ways, the more we can see how much we can do, our potential, and how much we are. I mean, I always say to my I've got a lot of nieces, and I've got a daughter. And one time I was talking to my daughter, and I said, the issue is that we are so powerful, and we are so powerful together, that I think it scares other people. I think that, and I think once we can let go of you being other, and you being part of me, part of my family, then I think this idea of unity, I think if you central to this is love. And if you put love and unity together, right, and always come back to that base, whether we have a difference of opinion or not, I think this power is going to be immense. Look at Tyler Perry, where he's coming from. He's got one of the biggest I think it's the biggest film studios in the world. You've got football players and actors and all sorts of people, Beyonce, Jay-Z, billionaires. This is about togetherness. This is about, sometimes you have to let go to move forward. So you have to let go to learn. You have to let go to listen. And I think, coming back to the idea of storytelling is having, you and people like you having that place where we can get our story told, is the thing that's another element that's going to deepen our understanding of what we are and what we're capable of.
I really appreciate that. That is important. All right, now let's get started with today's conversation, because this is part of what we are doing here now. I try to do the story, try to talk to ourselves, try to hear from ourselves, and I try to heal ourselves also, because story also heal.
Yeah.
All right, now give us a little background of you. Where were you born, and what was the reality around you? So let's take it from there.
Okay, so I was born in London. I was actually I think I was born in Westminster, or maybe I wasn't. I think I was. Maybe I was. But it's because I've got ideas of grandeur. So I grew up in Wandsworth in South London. My father did not live with us. I did know him, but he didn't live with us. I had at a young age, my sister came to England. That was before I was born. And then my mum sent for my brother from Jamaica. And that was definitely, they can speak for themselves, but that was a culture shock for them. And it was the happiest day for me when they came, because I had a family like that. So that was in South London. Yeah, then I went to school, and I remember that I had mixed fortunes at school, because I was really interested in lots of things, but didn't have the enough inspirational teachers to get on and kind of let me explore my full potential. So that was hugely frustrating for me. And then I left school, with not many qualifications, and then I began working in set building. That's interesting, the way they tell the stories. So I built sets, for a little while. Then I become interested in communication. So I did a course in communication, and that was the thing that I really loved.